relax muscles. If you read the black box FDA warning, the warning in Canada is to the patients. They're giving it to it. The warning in Germany, also in England. But the warnings here are only to the doctors who don't know what they're doing to begin with. Because what doctor isn't injecting a toxin? So I think what we adequately have to do is teach doctors how to do it. The other thing is, with these toxins, a lot of the scientific research were done by doctors or even licensed in America or from foreign countries. How can you trust this data? And some of this data has been altered. So I'm in a war, yes, and I'm working with a congressman and with a member of the House of Representatives, as well as the FBI and Justice Department, to change this from happening, because I think the most important thing is patient safety.
Is it ignorance, or do the doctors know they're doing wrong?
The doctors are ignorant because you can't believe everything you read. And that's what's happened to medical literature. Medical literature is turned into reading a mystery novel on all sorts of things. I mean, pain medication, for say.
You have a lot of clout, don't you?
I don't have that much clout, but I know people who have clout. That's the best thing.
Well, hopefully, keep us posted on the war.
I will. I'm running the war.
Was Michael happy with the way he looked?
Absolutely. I mean, Michael, they paint him as this very sad creature, like, you know, Charlie Chaplin and something.
He loved Chaplin.
Well, we once went to Disneyland, and it was Disneyland Paris, and at night he brought Michael Chaplin. And what he did is he loved the way he walked because he just walked like Charlie Chaplin. So he took a cane, and he starts imitating the way Michael Chaplin walks. Every time Michael would turn around, Michael Jackson would hide the cane. So it was very, very funny that way. And I spent Christmas Eve with him, with Carrie Fisher, and his kids only wanted to meet Princess Leia. That's all they wanted to meet. So I dragged Princess Leia over, and he played with her and the kids all on the floor, because he was a person who was both the father and he loved them here dearly.
We're going to talk about Debbie Rowe in a minute, but I want to ask, is it true what we've heard about how bright he was?
Michael? Michael was probably one of the most talented people, because there are producers who he gave ideas to who told me only if they had listened to him. But he wasn't educated in a way that we're standardly educated.
But he was intelligent in his craft.
Beyond. He was. Fred Astaire told me he's the greatest dancer of our time.
Astaire said that?
Yes. And I mean, if you hear that from Astaire, who else are you going to hear it from?
Now, the Debbie Rowe part of the story, she was your nurse, right?
Yes.
They met, I guess, at your office?
Yes.
Was that a real love affair?
I don't know what love is, I mean, that sense of the imagination. I think that she loves him very much. She admired him very much. But if you think they're riding off in a horse-drawn carriage, I mean, we have to put, what is a normal relationship? I mean, we go back to Marie Bonaparte, who once said to Danny Kaye, you know, and he went to say, what do you have to tell me that's different? And she didn't even know who Danny Kaye was. She's the first woman of royal heritage to undergo analysis. She said to Danny Kaye, the normal man is yet to be found and be found cured, which means who of us are normal? What is normal?
I know.
So I'm telling you, was that a love affair? You want to know. I think she really cared about his welfare. I think
it was not a sexual relationship, was it?
Well, I think they did have sex.
You do?
Yes, I really do. And I can't guarantee that, but I think they did have sex in the relationship.
Do you think Michael ever had sex with or bothered children?
I don't know that answer, because I would think that, you know, that it's possible that he did. I can't guarantee that. You can only guarantee things you see. You know, I don't want to make any suppositions about anything in this interview, because I would want this to be as truthful as possible.
Now, what about all the rumors about you and the fathering of those children?
Here's the most important thing. Michael loved those children as a father. Those children loved him as a father. And as far as I'm concerned, that's the most important grouping there is.
That's not answering the question.
No, because I'm not going to answer it the way you want to answer, because I think...
Well, you could say no.
I can say no, then. I'll say no if that's what you want to hear.
No, I want to hear what you want, what you know.
What I will tell you is that, see, because I hear what's most important about this whole thing, to end this thing, is that the most important thing of who the father is who the father is, who the children want their father to be. And I will tell you this, I will say no, because the most important person to these children is how Michael loved them and how he loved his children and how they loved him. Because they would never go past him without saying, I love you, Daddy. He would say, I love you. I've never seen such emotional care.
But earlier today you said you couldn't answer that one way or the other.
I still can't answer it absolutely one way or the other.
That means you donated sperm?
I once donated sperm. I don't know. But you have to know that...
You donated to him?
No, absolutely not.
You donated sperm?
Once
to a sperm
I donated
bank.
sperm to a sperm bank, but I don't think I should go over my legal affairs, because I think, to the best of my knowledge, I'm not the father. But I wanted to tell you that this discussion, however, is between Michael, his children, and this person. It's not to be discussed who the father is over the national television.
Or it technically is nobody's business.
It's no one's business.
Except he's become the public's business. Isn't that a fact of life?
But let me tell you something. There's something called private lives. Noel Coward wrote about that.
Yeah,
so can't we leave this alone? Can't we leave these children alone? These are brilliant, talented children. And forget this. And understand this man loved these children. These children loved him.
So you don't feel you have to take a DNA test to prove anything?
If they want me a DNA test, they can have my DNA. I don't care at this point. What I want.
Your concern is the kids.
My concern is these kids because I've never met children like this. They're the brightest children I've ever met, the best behaved children I've ever met. They come over to my house. They behave wonderfully. I know how deeply he loved them and how deeply they loved him.
That's obvious.
And I don't want to disturb this relationship in any way, shape, or form. But I'll tell you this, no matter what, I will protect these children. Because I believe...
All right, how are you personally, Arnie Klein, dealing with all this or surrounding you? Paparazzi following you.
I ignore it all because you know what?
Stories that you're the father. I mean, come on.
I think this is all...
You can't put it away.
I know, but you have to understand, I've been through a few things in my life. I've been through Debbie Rowe marrying Michael. I've been through the pregnancy before. I've been through the Medavoy suit and Botox. I mean, I've been through enough nonsense in my life. You understand? This is just another episode. Now, this is a little bigger because they're following me for a change. But I think it's all... I mean, it's sensationalism. But it's happening to the world. We should more worry about what's happening at the FDA and drugs existing all over the playgrounds of high schools than what's happening to this and me.
You wanted to tell me something about Michael and Ryan White, the young boy who died of AIDS.
Yeah, Michael wanted to bring Ryan White to Neverland. And his plastic surgeon, the brilliant person, said, you can't bring him in the jacuzzi because you may catch AIDS. So Michael called me. He said that, honestly, honest to God. So Michael called me, and I had given Michael $1 million for AIDS from a check from Doris Duke, and said, well, I catch AIDS if I go in the jacuzzi with Ryan White. I said, no way. And he was very good friends with Ryan White until he died. And that's what people don't know.
Did he go in the jacuzzi with him?
Yeah, absolutely. Because you know what? He really cared. I have a brother who is learning disabled. He always asks me, every time he sees me, how is Stephen doing? So I want to tell you, this is a person who really cared about other people. He's unlike anyone I ever met.
Did you go to the memorial service?
I couldn't. I watched it on television. It was still too emotional for me because I understand that, who he was. I thought it was a very beautiful service. And I know you were there, but, services like that, my father was a rabbi, and I do not do well at memorial services.
The gut-wrenching moment at the memorial yesterday came at the end when Michael's 11-year-old daughter, Paris, talked through her tears. You've seen it many times. We want to get Arnie's reaction. Watch.
Ever since I was born, Daddy has been the best father you could ever imagine. And I just wanted to say I love him so much.
What do you feel when you look at that?
I can't. It's difficult to look at that because here's the man who changed the world. He enabled black people to do things they'd never done before. We have a black caucus, we have a black president. He enabled so many things to do, and he gave so many gifts to the world. He was the finest entertainer we ever had. But it's not unlike what they did to poor Sarah Bernhardt. She died penniless, yet they had a big funeral for her. But now everybody wants all the gossip. The real gossip is we've lost the greater entertainer of our life. We've lost one of the greatest people who are more generous of themselves and of their heart than anyone I've ever known. And he's produced 3 incredible children, and this is a thing we should
About the children, this is hypothetical.
Right.
If you were the parent, this is hypothetical.
Yes.
Would you go and talk to them? Would you do something about it? Would you let it ride?